Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Who are these people?
Notice me, senpai. Notice me.
Don't be rude.
Who are these people?
All right, welcome to another episode of Pro Wrestling Talk. I am Angel Rivera alongside Miss.Witchy Perfect, and we're going to be reviewing the very first episode of Raw on Netflix, and some other stuff we're going to discuss as well, and then we're going to go into clips at 9 o'clock. So look forward to that. And how you doing this week?
You know, I was actually really CBC. I was actually really impressed with now a lot of people were saying Netflix ew, you know, but I was really impressed. Not to mention I did actually think, hey David, what's up? What's up, big bro? A lot of, I don't know, Jim Cornette was saying, like, you know, we're not going to talk about the Netflix, you know, but I thought it was awesome. I like it that they actually thanked Stephanie and Triple H for putting Kurt, Mr. Perfect, in the like Legends, you know, the beginning. He was in there. So I on X, I went on X and thanked Stephanie personally, you know, thank you for doing that, because, you know, Kurt's sort of not really mentioned a lot, and the fact that they put him in, I was very happy about that. Other than that, I'm good. I'm kosher.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the cold open, and it was good, and then all of a sudden here's Kurt Hennig for like a second there, a couple seconds, like, oh wow, they actually stuck him in the cold open, like they're part of the history of WWE up to this point, which is huge, which I thought was nice.
Question.
Because
that's a good question, Dave. I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's literally do we know how many numbers? Yeah, we do, or at least according to Netflix.
Okay, cool.
Because Netflix did put out numbers.
Nice.
According to, oh come on, it did put out numbers, so I do know that because I saw them. I don't have it saved, but I do remember it's the final rating was 4.9 million households.
Holy shit.
4.9 million households. In other words, if you assume 2 people per household, There's about 8 to 10 million people who watched Raw this past Monday.
Holy cow.
Because it said 4.9 million households, not like total people who watched. So
Yeah. Still,
back,
that's better than AEW could ever do,
yeah,
even on their best day.
and AEW fans kept quoting this number from a company called Samba TV, which basically had the rating at 664,000. But the key was they only produce ratings for smart TVs, and there's like 20 other ways you can watch Netflix. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a
Nope.
pointless number.
Sorry, AEW. Go back to the tables.
And even then, Samba TV doesn't have access to Netflix numbers, so they don't have a clue. They're just guessing, basically.
We'll just throw something against the wall and hope it sticks.
Yeah, which is why I didn't buy it. They said 4.9 million households watch, which they're incredibly happy with because that overtook their top show, which is Squid Games, which I've never watched, but that's
Squid
their top
Games.
show, Squid
Yeah,
Games.
okay. I'm sorry,
And
I never heard of it.
number one, it's number one consistently on Netflix. If you go to their top 10, it's always number one. So,
I see.
yeah.
Gotcha.
So usually they have. If I'll log into it and I'll show it real quick. I mean, they have like a top 10 shows and movies that people are watching right now.
Hmm.
And Netflix is usually Squid Games is number one, but
Hmm.
this time Raw overtook it at least on Monday. I'm not sure about now, like right the second, but get rid of
I liked
them.
it. I really liked it, especially, and we'll talk later about it, but especially the part where someone gets booed out of the building. Boo.
Let's see.
They didn't like him, guys. I think everyone is really sick of him.
Here it
I
is.
really do.
See, at one point we're talking about wrestling, by the way, if you're wondering. This is Netflix current top 10. Raw is not here right now, but it was at one point. Jerry Springer documentary is number 2, which I gotta watch at some point. Squid Games is number 3. It's this show.
I tried to watch that Iglesias
Gabriel
Gabriel
Iglesias.
Iglesias, and I fell asleep at the end. I'm so sorry. I
Uh,
was like trying to watch it.
Raw isn't here right now, but it was number 1 for like
I
2
was gonna
days.
say, what the heck? Where is it?
It's not here right now, but it was. Probably next month. If you look Monday after Raw, it'll be number 1. So
Yeah, it's got to be number one because I mean, it was.
let's get rid
I
of that.
watched it because I
Mhm.
can't watch it on Monday. I have to watch it Tuesday because
Yeah.
I have a show at 9:00. So I mean, I can't. Well, when we record on Monday, if we record Sunday, then I can watch it live. But unfortunately, I didn't watch it live, so I watched it Tuesday, and boy, golly
But
gee,
before we start the review, I've watched reviews from like multiple other YouTubers because I want to see what they thought. And for the
and
most part, they hated it. I'm like, wait, am I losing my mind here? 'Cause I liked it too.
yeah,
I enjoyed
wait,
it too.
what?
Yeah, they hated it. A lot of these reviewers on like from the YouTube IWC, whatever internet wrestling community, whatever, they hated it. And they base a lot of these people they're like anti WWE for clicks and for views
No, of course,
because that's what gets them the views, the anti WWE content. So that's why
yeah.
they go with it. They just run with it because for the ratings or for the views.
That's so stupid. I thought it was awesome. What did you personally think of it? Forget the reviews. Screw them.
Oh, I loved it. Me
Yeah,
personally, I
I thought it
loved
was
it.
really good, especially, the spot at the beginning where Triple H is like, "Are you ready?" And then they bring in the Netflix, that thing.
Okay, so I was wrong. Hold on. The inaugural event on Netflix averaged 2.6 million households in the US, which is 116% higher than Raw average rating for 2024 on USA.
And it's trust me when I say it's a lot higher than AEW right now.
Yeah.
They're just hoping that they make it through 2025 with
Yeah.
this shit that they're doing.
So the overall rating was 4.9 million people, but the households were 2.6 million. So you're assuming 2 people per household, which is why it's 4.9 million people that actually watch Raw live, at least. That's not including the numbers like you watched it on Tuesday, so you would count, but it'd be more of a streaming rating instead of live. So this is
Right.
the live rating. So yeah, most of them hated it. They complained, and this is just a recap before we get to our review of what I saw, what I've noticed about these reviewers. They hated the opening of Triple H in the ring, saying, "Are you ready?" They're sick of it, whatever.
Oh, go fuck yourselves.
I mean, it's fine. I mean, and what's funny is one of the reviewers said, "Oh, Vince McMahon never did that. Did you ever watch
Because
Raw in the '90s? Of course he did. He was the
of course
first
he
guy you would
did.
see. You
What
would
the
see the
fuck?
every week when he's on commentary. Welcome to Monday Night Raw. I'm Vince McMahon alongside whoever was on commentary with him that
Yeah,
week.
Randy Savage
Yeah,
or
usually Randy
yeah.
Savage. Yeah. So I guess that they're younger. Like, oh, Vince never did that. Well, bullshit. He did it all the time. So
Yeah, I
he
was
started
7
off
years
Raw
old when he
mostly.
did it. Hello.
Another complaint was the Rock, him randomly turning babyface, which I agree, and we will get to in a second. But that's the one thing I agree with. His random babyface turn for no reason.
Well, I don't.
Then
He didn't want to be a heel. I don't think.
no, he didn't. He was forced into it because of the whole Cody crybabies, and Cody had to get that belt, so he had to turn heel. But he didn't
Yeah.
want to turn heel, so he basically turned babyface on Raw for no reason, which is an issue because the continuity is gone at that point. So then they blame Triple H for that. I'm like, that's way above Triple H's pay grade. Triple H is just an employee. He's not. He doesn't own the company. He's not even stock. He's not even on the board anymore. He's just an employee ultimately. The Rock is on the board, so it's way above his pay grade. The Rock comes to Triple H. Oh yeah, I'm turning babyface this week. And like, what can he do? He can't say no.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he is kind of the boss.
Yeah, he's on the board. So and Ari Emanuel and the all the other executives love him. Mark Shapiro, so they like smitten with the Rock. So he can't go to them. So he's like, oh yeah, I want to be a babyface. Like, all right. I mean, I have to figure out how to explain this, but okay, we'll do. Let's just go with it. And then they thought the Roman Reigns and Solo match sucked, which I disagree with completely.
Yeah, I disagree. I was on the edge of my seat. What the fuck all were you guys watching? I was like,
It's like,
oh, come on.
and then the one thing that caught me, which I wasn't surprised with, that the one thing they went back to was like, we want Vince back.
Why? You want that
It-
shitty wrestling?
Yeah, they want. It's like, and these are the same people who hated Vince McMahon just a couple of years ago, and who's still in the WWE now. They want him back because there's a lot of reasons. One, they claim that the belts are being held hostage now. There's no title changes. How much Vince used to constantly do them, which is a good thing. But they claim the belts are being held hostage. Two,
By who?
Cody and Gunther, their long-term
Cody
title
is the
reigns.
face of the company, guys. He's the face of the goddamn company. What did you expect?
And before that, Roman Reigns held it 3.5 years. So there's belt hostages. They're holding the belt hostage. Like bullshit. I mean, Vince started that title on Roman Reigns. Triple H just continued it. So just
Yeah.
blame Vince for that one too. Then they complain about Cody not being over anymore, which is not true. I mean, I don't know what they're doing,
What are
what
you
show they're
looking
watching.
at? Yeah, what are you watching?
Then another complaint was what was it? It was something else ridiculous, but oh, the main event was okay, it wasn't good, they could have better matches. They were the 3 hours. This is the same complaint, the work rate. Oh, and in 3 hours, sure, only 4 matches or 5, whatever matches it was. Like, so what? And I'm like, how many? And then in order to you have all these new audience, and you don't put on wrestling. And it's like WWE is not marketing towards a wrestling audience. They're marketing towards the mainstream. Mainstream doesn't give a shit about matches. They want to see the stories.
Yeah.
I mean, like the celebrities. This is one celebrity who loves the Roman Reigns story. Like the Bloodline story. He doesn't care about the matches. He just loves the story. These celebrities, they went to the show.
Who are these people that are literally saying, "Oh well"? I mean, for fuck's sake, get over it. Get over it. You don't even know what you're talking about. Hi, Grape.
Grape is here. Thank you for joining us. I make sure you like. Excuse me.
I enjoyed it too, Dave. I mean, everyone was. I was on the edge of my seat, especially when it was Sokola or Sokola or Sokola. It was for the Ulafala. I mean, I was like, oh god, who's good? Because I didn't know who to pick.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I was
And
like, they could go this way,
Oh,
but
yeah.
then they could go that way. So
I
I was
remember.
like, maybe they'll go that way.
Just
Who
one more
knows?
thing, and then we'll move to the review. But they were complaining about Triple H's safe booking. They're like, "Oh well, he doesn't do anything special. It's just it's safe booking." Like
Guys, this
Vince
is
used to
not
do all
that
these
shock
specials.
wrestling. It's not shock wrestling. This is not Jerry Springer. This is not Vince Russo
Yeah,
bullshit.
that's what they want ultimately, which is what Tony Khan gives them in AEW: the constant surprises and random title changes
And
and
putting paper bags over people's head, or putting plastic bags over people's head, sticking syringes in people's mouths. Any fucking idiot can do that. They do that on indie. I saw on X there was an indie guy that pogo stick to the fucking ring and then jumped on the guy. I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch that.
Yeah, so before we get to the review, we have to discuss real quick. Vince McMahon, he settled his issues with the Securities and Exchange Commission, or the SEC. He put out a tweet claiming, "Well, the case is closed. Today ends nearly 3 years of an investigation by different governmental agencies. There has been a great deal of speculation about what exactly the government was investigating and what the outcome was, pal. As of today, resolution shows much of the speculation was misguided and misleading. In the end, there was never anything more to this than minor accounting errors with regard to some personal payments." I can't do the voice anymore. That I made several
That's
years
a little
ago
hard
was
on the that's a
yeah,
little hard
while I
on the
was
voice.
CEO of WWE. I was thrilled that I can now put this all behind me, pal. So basically, he had to pay $400,000 in a fine to the SEC, and he has to pay back $1,749,450.90. I love the specificity of that, by the way, to the WWE. Like, he has to pay that money back to the WWE now, so in order to make the WWE whole.
I mean, really.
So of course, he doesn't go to jail, even though he probably should have. But so the case is closed. At least with the SEC, not with the other lawsuits and stuff from Janelle Grant. But that case is over at least. So, yep.
Well, there you go. I didn't think they were gonna do anything. He's
think
rich.
that?
He's
Yeah. Do we think I might see a little more Attitude Era mix in the new Raw? Maybe a
yeah.
mix.
I don't think so.
I don't see them going full Attitude Era again. I mean, that was just hot shot booking, because they were desperate to beat
And yeah, most of
WCW.
it was shit. The only thing that really stuck was the Austin versus McMahon.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's get to this review. It starts off, of course, with the cold open, which I thought was great, and at the end with the canvas, when all the greats driven in that canvas was drawn in that canvas, was incredible. Then they covered up the ring. Boom! Here comes Triple H in the ring. He's kind of like this, and then he gives you the whole "Are you ready?" deal. Blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Then he leaves the ring, and here comes The Rock, of course. He's the first one to appear after Triple H.
Right.
He comes down to the ring. He's slapping hands with the fans, and I'm like, is he supposed to be heel? This is the way he makes his random babyface turn for no reason, and he puts over Cody Rhodes strong. It's like, oh, he's been carrying the company this past year. What a fantastic job he's done.
He kind of has been. He has been. He has been, and he's been doing a damn good job of it. Maybe I'm a little partial. Okay, I'll admit I'm a little partial. I do like Cody Rhodes because I liked Dusty Rhodes. I saw one of his vignettes. And it was the one where he's like, "Yes, sir. Hey, baby, have you seen a dipstick?" I went, "Oh my God, Dusty, don't say that again."
He's like,
I love Dusty. He had that charisma, but wow.
The issue, it's another thing, complaint. Oh, well, Cody didn't wrestle on the show. And he's like, he was buried. He's in the audience. No,
he's
he wasn't.
Not a Raw guy.
The Rock put him over strong. Like, he's like the greatest thing since sliced bread. So no, he wasn't buried.
He's not a Raw guy. Yeah, he's not a Raw guy.
No, he's not. He's on SmackDown.
Cody Rhodes is for SmackDown, guys. Yeah. Get your heads on straight. Come on.
And then he put over Netflix. It was like, thank you, Netflix, for giving us $5 billion. I get a piece of that money too. But yeah,
Yeah, I
And
was gonna
then
say.
he put over the tribal combat match between Roman and Solo, and then he also put over the fact, hey guys, thank you for making this show the highest grossing event in WWE history. And I'm like, and the fans, yay! And I'm like, wait, but that means that you overpaid for ticket prices and you just gave WWE a lot of money that they didn't need.
That they didn't need. Well,
Yeah, they just bury it, like they just, marks. It's like, yay, we had the highest grossing event ever. Oh shit, we just overpaid for tickets and WWE took us like idiots. So, oh well, but yeah, I mean, they cheered for that, whatever. And The Rock went away, and then we get with. By the way, it took like 45 minutes to get to the first match, so something like that. It was insane. The first match was Tribal Combat. It was Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa for the Ula Fala, which I thought it was a great match. The only issue I had was there were run-ins and stages. There were like two different
mhm.
run-ins. And I'm like, oh, that's too many run-ins. But
Yeah, too many
I'm
run-ins.
nitpicking. I'm nitpicking though. The match itself, what I thought was great. It set me the edge of my seat. Is like, who's gonna fucking win? If I watched
Yes,
it live,
because we
I
were
watched it live.
speculating.
But
We're like,
yeah,
well, and we were expecting what you were saying, like, oh, Heyman could do a heel turn because
yeah,
Heyman is good as a heel. And I was like, well, yeah, but I think Roman really got to get this back. But I mean, so it sounds like, we were going back and forth on this. We
yeah.
really didn't
We
know
there
how to
last
do
week. Yeah.
this. And boy, I was just like, come on, Roman, come on. I found myself, and I thought I would never do this, cheering for Roman Reigns. Didn't think I was going to do it, but I did it. I was like, what the hell's going on with me? So,
And
yeah, I
then
picked Roman Reigns, and he won. He was like, 1, 2, 3. And I went, oh my God, are you serious?
they actually did it. And there was no heel turn. There was nothing like surprising. Roman won. The Rock, of course, had to come back out and steal the spotlight and put the Ulafala on him and clap for him, And Roman did the one deal, and that was it. It was no heel turn, no surprise. Like, oh, okay, that's pretty interesting. I would assume some sort of heel turn and Roman gets screwed or something, or after he wins back to Ulafala, it's the heel turn and you set up something else later, but it didn't happen. So I was like, okay, it's interesting. And
Yeah,
this is the complaint about safe booking. It's like, oh, Triple H is safe booking. He
but this
doesn't do
was
anything
good.
special. No, it was
This
good.
was
I'm not saying it
good.
was
This,
bad,
yeah,
but I was
this is.
expecting a heel turn or something.
Yeah,
So
I know, because you were like, "Well, Paul Heyman might go heel," and I'm like, "Oh, I didn't even think of that." Shit. But no, like, I just like the Paul Heyman was milking it too. He's like
yeah,
holding the Ulafala like Percy Pringle used to hold the urn for the Undertaker.
yeah.
I was like, "Damn, you remind me so much of Percy." I mean, he's holding it up like it's a little baby, you
No,
know?
Paul E's good. I mean, he's one of the
And
best still.
everybody loves him. My name is Paul Heyman, and everybody
It's the first time he's really
echoes
been a
it.
babyface in his career. I mean, I don't. He's always been a heel manager. So like, which is great. I mean, he's great. And then they had the deal, and then they showed a bunch of celebrities that everything care about. They put over Netflix a million times more. There's a bunch of commercials, and then we get to the next segment, which was John Cena coming out to the ring to begin his retirement tour.
Yeah, I didn't really pay much attention. I wasn't really much for John Cena. I'm glad that he came out and started talking. He's like, because I think that they're going to give him at least one more title shot. And that's why
Yeah,
he entered the Royal Rumble.
yeah,
So
and
I was like, okay, well, this makes sense. I do think they are going to, like WrestleMania, I can see Cody dropping the belt, but then, of course, getting it right back. Or maybe Roman Reigns gets the belt or whatever. But right
it's
now, I
interesting.
think they'll at least give John Cena at least a month, maybe.
Yeah, it'd be interesting because John Cena initially cut a promo saying, "Guys, I'm not won a single match in 2,000 plus days, and I think I'm done." And they were booing and, "Oh, that's okay though. I'm done. It's my time is up and their time is now. It's fine." Then eventually he got around to, you know what? Maybe I have one more left in me, so I'm gonna enter the Royal Rumble and I'm gonna win and I'm gonna main event WrestleMania one last time. Cheers, pop. They went crazy for
Yeah.
him. So, and that was it, but he entered the
Well,
Royal
he's gonna
Rumble.
be that baby face, and like I said, I could see them trying to get that WrestleMania 6, where it was Warrior and Hogan magic. Cena and Cody. Cody's the biggest babyface in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Might as well put him with John Cena, right? And try to get that
Cena,
magic back from WrestleMania 6.
it's the previous generation's top babyface versus the current generation's top babyface in the main event, and you see what happens there. So
I mean, sparks are gonna fly. I mean, it's gonna be magic. No offense.
it's gonna. Yeah, I mean the reason I hate to backtrack, but the reason why the Rock initially supposed to work with Cody in the main event, that was like what they teased last year at the end of WrestleMania.
Right.
Like, when I come back, I want a shot of that title. He never came back,
And don't break my heart again, or something like that.
Yeah, and a random babyface turn. But the reason why it happened was The Rock got delayed with his movie project, like that Moana, the Moana live action movie he's starring in.
Oh,
And
get out.
the project was delayed, or they have to reshoot a lot of shit, so he's not available at WrestleMania anymore. So that's why he turned babyface randomly, and he's going away.
And just shows up randomly too.
Yeah. Okay. He showed up on NXT on Tuesday real quick, and he gave no explanation for a babyface turn. It was more like he made fun of the the internet marks who were complaining about it, and just moved on. It's like no explanation.
Well, I mean, that's what you kind of got to do, because I mean, these internet people don't know what they're talking about. I watched it, and I felt, like back when I watched Kurt's wrestling, back in the 80s and the 90s, my heart gets pumping. That's what it was doing.
Yeah.
All through most of Raw. All through it. Yeah.
All right.
And damn it, if I wouldn't have guessed that. I'm sorry, go ahead. You were going
to
announce another.
But... All right. The next match was the women's world title match between Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan.
Yes! Yes!
And they finally made the switch, after nearly about 8 months of Liv Morgan's
and here
title
comes
run.
Dirty Dom. Hey, Bobby! She kicked him in the nuts.
Yeah, so the match happens. Liv Morgan drops the belt after a solid match. I mean, the only woman that can make Liv Morgan look good is Rhea
Ripley, because she knows what the hell she's doing. Otherwise, I'm just like, get off the screen.
The Liv Morgan's match with Io Sky, whatever her name is, at Saturday Night's main event was awful. I mean, it was like it was total shit.
I'm like, what the hell is this? What are we doing here?
So eventually, Rhea Ripley wins the match with her finish 1, 2, 3. Actually, she hit it twice. So again, I don't like that. It kind of buries your finish, but whatever. I'm nitpicking.
Yeah, I mean, why even have one if you're gonna have to do it twice?
Yeah. She actually did it 3 times. The first time Liv kicked out, then she did 2 more times and then beat her.
Yeah, because she kept going like, like this. I'm like, Rhea, just calm down. Keep doing, go.
Eventually, she wins. And Dominic comes in afterwards, tries to get back together with Rhea because, Liv lost the belt, so he's going to break up with her.
And Pat McAfee, I cannot say this enough. He's a football guy, and I'm like, what's he doing commentating wrestling?
No, but he's great.
My God, when she kicked him in the nuts, boy, Pat McAfee was so hilarious.
Yeah, he's
there
great.
You go. That's for you, Dirty Dom. You asshole.
Then she hits her finish on Dom, which is impressive that she can get him up there, but she did. Yeah. She's and a lot of these internet marks call Rhea Ripley a knockoff China. But she's a way better worker than China. So what are you talking about? But
China didn't really know how to work. Yeah.
Yeah. So then after Rhea Ripley celebrating with the belt, here comes ding. The Undertaker shows up in his biker gimmick.
Yeah, but I hated the American Badass. I liked scary Undertaker better.
Yeah, I did too, but I don't think he wants to get back in that get-up ever again. He's retired, so fuck it. I'm going to be the American Badass whenever I show up.
Yeah, but those motorcycles he used to ride would always break down, right? He'd be like,
yeah, he had an issue with motorcycles breaking down. I don't know why, but I'm sure he can afford a good motorcycle, but they kept breaking down on him. So,
but that was cool that they both were, they were talking, and then they would raise the hands, and she raises the belt.
Yeah, Undertaker put her over strong, and let her do, his deal like this when, it was a cool moment. And he put her over strong, it's the future, and then he, and then went away in the bike, and that was it. Mm-hmm. Then we get more celebrity cameos, and we get more commercials, we get more advertisements.
Kid Cabello, you hot, sexy man. No, I'm kidding. I'm not kidding about that. But you are my other work husband, so hi.
Yeah. Then we get more commercials, more of this, celebrity cameos,
Hey, look, Kit, my
former
hair's brown.
wrestlers,
See?
including we get Macaulay Culkin, the Home Alone kid, and
Yeah,
that's
but
40
he's
years
been like
old.
a wrestling fan forever, I thought.
Yeah. He knew how to work it because he had his hat on and he was like this, and then the camera showed up to him and he did this and smiled. Like, it was a good pop for him.
Mhm.
So it's like he knew how to work it and not just sit there. Because I saw, and then they were showing the other celebrities, like, who is that guy? He's like this, like he couldn't tell who it was, and then he does this, so like, oh, it's Home
Well, it's
Alone
funny
kid.
that Ben Savage was not on because Ben Savage
Mm.
was the one who was on with Vader during the Boy Meets World thing. They were big
Yeah.
wrestling fans, and Leon, they were big fans of Leon, and they actually went on during one of the wrestling things.
hmm So
It was
yeah,
Vader.
that was what it was. I mean, I wasn't. And then we came out to the next match was Drew McIntyre versus Jey Uso. Now
Oh,
I gotta get to this entrance because it's hilarious. There's a rapper there. I forget his name again, but a rapper showed up with Jey Uso and randomly started smoking weed, like for no reason. And he's
I mean,
like,
they can do that now. They're on Netflix.
and they're in California too, which is legal, so it's
And they're
not
in
really.
California.
Yeah, so he's like, he's randomly smoking weed, and he's apparently he was supposed to sing the song, for Monday Night Raw because he has a song for Raw
Yeah.
in the opening, but he didn't do that. Instead, he was smoking weed. So it's like, wait, was he supposed to sing the song? Because the song was the music was in the background, but he kept just smoking weed.
Kind of
And
hard to
Jay,
do. Travis Scott. Is that
yeah,
him?
Travis Scott, thank you. Yeah,
Okay.
I keep forgetting his name. I don't really listen to him, but
Hey,
yeah, he's
Kit, look,
apparently.
I got my reward. Look at that. Look at that sexy bitch right there. But yeah, like
So
this match, I was like, oh, come on, what?
the match itself, what it was, Jey Uso's not really a worker. He's more of a personality, which is fine. He's
But
over,
Drew
but
is. Drew is a
yeah.
worker.
And that match was good. It wasn't great, but it was good. It was a solid match.
And
And
I was cheering for fucking Drew McIntyre.
Mhm.
And he lost. Damn it. I
he,
was like, oh, what?
I got to get to this. Is another IWC complaint. It's like, well, I mean, Drew McIntyre was buried. He lost to Jey Uso, and I'm like, no, again, you don't understand how
He
wrestling works.
wasn't buried. What the hell are they
Drew,
talking about?
Drew McIntyre took 90% of that match. He
Yeah,
dominated
he
Jey
was
Uso.
the he looked great. He came back from injury. Well, the Hell in a Cell when
Yeah.
CM Punk smacked him and he got stitches up the head. I saw that on X. Boy, that had to hurt. But he
Yeah.
came back from that and had a great match. What the
Yeah,
hell are they talking about?
and then he nearly hit his finish, and he missed, and Jey Uso somehow took him, like rolled him up, and just pinned him, and that's how he won. He won by the skin of his teeth. He got lucky. Everybody, you can see it in the match. There's no way he could have won that
Even
match.
Drew McIntyre's like,
Yeah.
and that was me. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
I was like, okay, that's how Jay gets the win, which I didn't mind. I liked the match. It was like that's because Jay Jay needs the win, so Drew will continue to chase him, and eventually, even though he's the heel, but they're working it out like that where this feud is going to kind of continue because the
Well,
whole
yeah,
point of
because
McIntyre
he took
right
him down.
now,
Yeah.
the whole point of McIntyre right now is going after anyone who helped Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns because
Yeah, he already beat up Sami Zayn, so Jey
Yeah.
Uso's next, and now he's gonna keep continuing till he gets to
well,
Cody.
and he took out Jey Uso on the other Raw or
Yeah.
SmackDown or something. I think it was Raw.
It was SmackDown first.
It was SmackDown. I
It
was
set
right
up
the
that
second
match
time.
on Raw, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I didn't mind the match. It was a solid match, and stuff.
I just couldn't believe that Drew McIntyre lost. I was like, I was expecting him to win. I'm like, shit.
Come on, Angel, get your rap game together. So yeah, after that we got more celebrity
Can I say something real
cameos.
quick? If Kit
Yeah,
is still watching, hey Kit, I sent you a message on X. I sent you a private message. So if you are still watching, can you get back to me? Because I got some really great news to tell you. Okay.
Right. So yeah, I mean, after that we got commercials and we got more celebrity cameos. I think we had. Oh no, I forgot. We had it. Oh, we got to get to Terry, but I mean, let me get to this real quick. Then we got Roman Reigns backstage with Paulie, and he's like, "Hey, my tribal chief, we need a celebration. When do you want to do it?" And he looked at him and was like, "January 27th, which is the last episode of Raw for the month of January, right before the Royal Rumble."
Okay.
And then Paulie's like, "Okay, I'll set it up, my tribal chief." Then they closed the door, and it said WWE 2K25, which is the new video game that's
Right,
coming out.
right. Yeah, okay. I remember
So
this.
and then they had the preview for the game. It's it's a cool way to introduce the new game that's coming out.
I thought it was Mayhem. They were showing a lot of commercials for this WWE Mayhem.
Oh,
I'm like,
that's
is Kurt Hennig on it? If it's not,
yeah,
I don't want it.
it's a mobile game. That's a free mobile game, which they sell you a bunch of shit, and they
Oh,
make more
okay.
money off it. But the
I
main
see.
game is 2K25, which is
Well,
coming out.
Mr. Perfect better be in it or I don't want
Um,
it.
I think he is. No, in 2K24 he was in it, but it was like a DLC you had to buy separate. So
Oh, that's dumb.
he might be in 2K25, but it'll probably not a DLC. So yep. And then after all that, we get the Hulk Hogan segment, which went viral and went mainstream media, covered it, everything.
Gee, I wonder why.
So when I heard Hogan's supposed to be on Raw, I thought, okay, it'll probably be a pre-tape. Hulk cuts his promo, talks about his real American beer, take a couple minutes and move on. No, it turns out it was
Nope.
in person, and I'm like, wait,
It was in
that's not a good
person.
idea. That is not a good idea. I don't know who came up with that idea, but that's a bad segment. That's not going to go well. He
And
comes out,
those marks were like, oh my God, how could they do this? That's been the worst thing that could have happened in wrestling. I'm like, oh, calm down, you fucking children.
yeah.
It
So
was one bad segment.
we get Hogan, Jimmy Hart's behind him as usual with the American flag, la la la. They boo him out of the building. He tries to cut his promo, but it didn't go well. He like, make sure you get my real American beer, brother.
Real American beer, brother. And I was like, oh, come on, Hogan. But oh my God, he gets booed out of the building in Los Angeles, California. This and what pissed me off the most was they're like, oh, because of Hogan, we're all here today. I went, oh no, no, don't even fucking say that. Because if it wasn't Hogan, it would have been Dusty. It would have been anybody else. It could have been Kurt Hennig for all you know. It's because of all the older wrestlers, including Kurt Hennig, including Dusty Rhodes, including all these people. It was them, not him. It was them. Do not do that. No, no. Don't fucking, you might as well have just pissed in the face of every legend of wrestling that came before. Bruno Sammartino was bigger than Hogan was. Though look at the time, Bruno was 70s, 60s, 70s,
60s,
a little bit of
his
80s.
run. Yeah, Bruno even in the 80s was out.
Still bigger.
He was out competing with Hogan. Yeah,
bigger.
Which is why Hogan didn't want Bruno on the cards. Really, the only reason why Vince used him was because he want because as a favor, because David was a favor hire, but he wanted Bruno to team with him. So Bruno agreed to it, but he was retired by that point. But he's bigger than Hogan, so Hogan was jealous and wanted him off the cards, which is a whole other drama. So
don't piss in everybody's face. That's not fair. There's a lot of people that made wrestling what it is today. Well, made wrestling. And Hogan's not the only one. There's a lot of other wrestlers that were good before him and that were bigger than him.
So it didn't go well for Terry. I mean, he was apparently pissed about the segment, and that
serves him right.
Whatever.
People are sick of you, Terry. Go away. Go away. How can we miss you if you don't go away, Terry? Go away.
His real American beer is apparently WWE is doing what AEW did with Ric Flair. They signed a multi-year agreement, a multi-year agreement with Hogan's Real American Beer to promote it. In fact, Hogan's Real American Beer is on the canvas, the new canvas they revealed, which I forgot to talk about, which is full of advertisements. You had Netflix there, you had Hogan's Real American Beer, you had Fortnite, you had the Saudi Arabia logo, and you had something else. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, I mean, I didn't mind the canvas. I really didn't notice it. People complained about it a lot. I'm like, yeah, if you watch the UFC,
I'm sure it's a lot softer than the ones they had back in the territories.
Yeah, it's like, have you watched the
And it has a
UFC?
fucking monitor on it. Did you see them? It has monitors on this
Yeah,
instead of like a ring apron. It has monitors
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Oh, that's
That's
a
on.
pretty penny, baby.
Yeah, they only use that for Raw tapings and SmackDown, but yeah, pay-per-views. But
But
yeah, I mean,
I liked it. It was okay. I just again this and let me know in the comments what you guys think. I just think everyone is tired of Terry. They are first of all, he went full Trump. He went full Trumper.
yeah,
And I was like, "Oh, come on, Terry. Really?" Because it's all about this. Terry
mm-hmm,
doesn't care. He'd go to the highest bidder if he could.
no,
And they were talking about this on Jim Cornette, how Terry like or no, it was I was watching a shoot interview with the Honky Tonk Man, Wayne Ferris.
mm-hmm,
Wayne Ferris was talking about, hey, Hogan, when you had to wear that mask, you were getting fucked by Vince. Everybody
mm-hmm,
knew it was Hogan, but you were getting fucked. And now how does it feel? Because you fucked people over. Now, how does it feel that you're getting fucked over? I mean,
mm-hmm.
people are
It's
tired of you, Terry. They know
well,
you're a full Trumper. You will suck Trump's dick if it gives you money. Your beer probably tastes like shit. I don't know. I'm not gonna have
I haven't
any. I don't
tasted
plan
it.
on getting it.
I haven't tasted it, so I
It's
can't
probably
really give an
expensive as
opinion.
shit anyway.
Yeah, yeah, I've been looking for it
How
in
cheap is
stores here,
both?
but I haven't found it, and I don't know whether they sell it around here. But I've been looking for it, but I don't know whether if it's too expensive, I probably won't buy it. But
Yeah, I
it,
mean, like Ric Flair's stuff was like 30 or $50 and it was a little energy drink. And
yeah, it
50
was
bucks for like a 12 pack. I'm like,
yeah.
sorry, no.
And apparently it's horrible to the point where nobody really drank it. It was just one of
That
those
they were
things that
buying it and then just they wanted a picture with Ric Flair, so then they would
yeah,
just give it back.
yeah. So they would either throw it out or return it or something. Yeah, so it was not good.
This was not a
So
good segment. The only good bad or I should say bad segment, but again, people are sick of you, Terry. You need
yeah,
to retire and give it up the ghost.
apparently Hogan's next appearance is scheduled for Saturday night's main event at the end of this month, which is the
Well, it
last
better be a
Saturday.
taping because I'm
Yeah,
telling you, a live appearance is not going to do
it's
it.
it's in San
Especially with
Antonio.
Jesse there. Can you
Yeah,
imagine
yeah,
they had
yeah.
Jesse?
I was gonna mention that. In fact, I mean Jesse is booked for that show too. He's gonna do commentary again for that show, and him and Hogan do not get along.
They
So
do not get along. And Jesse said that probably will never, ever happen, that they will ever bury the hatchet. Because
yeah,
everybody should remember it was Hogan that ratted out Jesse, who was going to unionize the wrestlers.
and if you watch the Mr. McMahon documentary, Terry Hogan openly admitted, "Yeah, it was me, brother," and I'm proud. He's basically proud of it. The way he was saying it is like, "Yeah, it was me, brother. I went right to Vince when Jesse gave that speech. As soon as the speech
Yeah,
was
I
over,
ran
I went
right
right to
to Vince
Vince."
McMahon. Oh, go fuck yourself, Terry.
And he was like, and
That's why
Hogan
nobody
was like,
likes you.
and then Vince was like, "Oh yeah, Hogan told me, and I handed that immediately, pal. He didn't he just admitted to union busting. It was like, oh yeah, I mean, I ended that immediately.
I think that
And
is so stupid. Yeah, he tried to and then, NBC said, well, we want Jesse. And if you don't give us Jesse, guess what? We're walking.
which
That is
Vince
some kind of
needed.
irony right there. I'm sure Jesse was laughing
Mhm.
his ass off about that.
Yeah, the only reason why he came back to WWE because Vince is finally gone. He didn't want to work with Vince again, so it was like, okay. So then the main event, we got a bunch of ads and stuff. And Hogan's segment. The main event was CM Punk versus Seth Rollins in that one-on-one match.
Holy shit.
I thought it was a great match again. I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean, the crowd was half Punk, half
mhm.
Seth Rollins. So it's like, I threw it up in the air and said, whoever wins is going to be, the victor of this one. I didn't know who to choose.
Yeah,
This could have gone any way.
I thought it was a great match. In the beginning, something really stuck out to me when the first minute or two in the match, Seth Rollins and he threw CM Punk out of the ring. He went outside himself. The ref starts counting, and Seth Rollins comes back and said, "Don't you dare count that." It's like, what do you want me to do? Don't put me in the position where I have to count and end this match early. They actually said that to each other, had that conversation. I'm like,
Right.
okay, well, that's interesting. They're kind of like making fun of AEW because this is what they do all the time.
What
They
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 tell the
go
refs
outside.
to fuck off, basically.
Yeah, they go outside. They bury the ref all the time. They go outside and spend minutes outside, and the referee doesn't count. Just stands there like an idiot. And then they come back to the ring and stuff like, don't put me in that position where I have to count because I have to count, Seth. And it's like, well, they argued a while and then they were out there and they came back to the ring eventually. But they had that conversation, which is interesting because it's like they're definitely like poking AEW. It's like, oh yeah, I mean, you guys bury the referee all the time for no reason and make the referee like idiots. So that stuck out to me.
Oh, I didn't even think about that one. I just like the fact that, I mean, this was a good match, I thought. And I didn't know who to choose. I was kind of like, oh, I'll throw it up in the air. Whoever wins is great, you know.
Yeah,
Of course, it was
I didn't know who would go over
CM Punk.
because yeah, eventually the match was great and the finish ends up being CM Punk hitting to go to sleeps. Again, it's the issue with the multiple finishes.
Yeah, I mean, why have finishes if
Oh,
you have to
sorry.
do it twice?
And but again, this is where the internet wrestling fans are complaining because CM Punk hits the first finish and Seth kind of staggers around and Punk's on his knees and then Seth lands on his shoulders again.
That was kind of even I was going.
So and apparently this is a copy and paste of a CM Punk John Moxley match from AEW. Did the exact same finish. It was the copy and paste.
Oh, so it was supposed to be like a poke.
It was a copy and
AEW,
paste of that finish. So it's like, and I'm like,
okay. Oh, no wonder it looks so. I'm like, don't.
yeah,
do
it was
that.
a copy and paste of that finish. And I'm like, how many people actually saw that finish? Probably a fraction of what WWE audience is.
I didn't even know that
It's
was
from
the finish for that.
2021. You know, they had a main event pay-per-view match in 2021, and that was their finish that they came up with.
Get out.
And then the exact same thing here. And
Okay.
it's like, I didn't even know until I saw that. Oh yeah, it was the same finish. I didn't even know. And so that's how very few people knew about it. Then also CM Punk came out with the jacket, the Triple X jacket, which is this is.
Oh yeah, I think you said this on X, and I was like, no way. That's
It's
the
same
jacket
where he choked out
with?
Jack Perry at All In London, the first one. So again, he's poking at AEW against CM Punk. So he's.
Hey, serves him right. You know, I'm tired of all these AEW bitches, you know, bitching about this and bitching about that. Hey, when your ratings are as big as WWE's and you have a Netflix thing, come back and talk to me. Oh, you're just literally in the drain right now. You're literally being flushed down the toilet.
What's funny about that is AEW fans are bragging about the fact that AEW's on Max now. It's like, oh well, the AEW's on Max, and I'm like, here's the difference. Max Plus, their streaming Warner Brothers Discovery streaming service
that nobody fucking watches.
They're on Max Plus, and if you compare Max to Netflix, it's like Max doesn't even care. It's like, oh yeah, we have the NBA, we have the NFL, we have Major League Baseball, and oh yeah, we have this wrestling league too. You know, they barely mention AEW in their promotions for the streaming service. And meanwhile, Netflix is going all in on WWE. If you go to their Twitter page, it says Monday Night Raw. You know, it's the Cody's there, CM Punk's there. They're going all in, and they're all excited. But Max doesn't give a shit. You know, it's like, oh yeah, we got this wrestling league that nobody really watches on our streaming platform too. So,
So what went to Max? Dynamite.
Dynamite, the pay-per-views, but it's not like live. It's not like Peacock where you air it live. It goes up after, like a day or two after. So, like, who cares? You know, like if AEW airs live pay-per-views on there, even now, if you talked to me a year and a half ago, it's yeah, I'll probably buy it just to watch the AEW pay-per-views. Today, I wouldn't do it. Even for $10 a month, like it's not worth my time. I mean, it's not. I haven't watched an AEW show live in like 6 months or 8 months, even. I mean, I see the clips.
Yeah, I mean, I can see the results on X.
Yeah,
I
see the clips. You know, I see all the other stuff, and it's ridiculous.
And it's all bullshit. It's just hokey indie wrestling that nobody fucking watches except for 25 people in a fucking gym who are drunk.
Yeah, and so real quick, the new hero of AEW is supposed to be Darby Allin, or if you remember him. And he's supposed to
Christ. The dude that broke his foot and wanted to climb Mount Everest and then got hit in the face with a bus.
Apparently he's supposed to get the belt from John Moxley, and but it turns out that Darby Allin's going to take off for several months as he prepares to climb Mount Everest. So he's going to
He still got that stupid
Yeah, he's
bullshit in
gonna
his
climb Mount
head.
Everest again. He's gonna be out several months. So the John Moxley gonna be AEW World Champion for a while. If Darby's supposed to be the one to take the belt off him, and that's if he lives, because people like 30 people die every year climbing Everest. So like that's if he lives. Because if he doesn't live, then gotta find some other guy to take the belt off Moxley.
If we hear if the news comes on tomorrow and says Darby Allin found dead on Mount Everest, I'm just gonna laugh. This is just stupidity. I mean, really. Stick to wrestling.
And he could barely do that.
God damn it. There's no, as Kurt would say, there's no more showmanship. Everybody knows what's going on. The game is rigged.
Yeah, so that was Raw on Netflix. I thought it was a solid show. It did what it was supposed to. Now, and another complaint about the internet wrestling fan, real quick. Oh, there was no hot angle to end the show. And look forward to next week. It was just.
What the hell are you talking about? CM Punk! CM
Yeah, there was no
Punk!
hot angle coming off of this Raw. Instead, we just got a match. CM Punk won, and that was the end of the show. And it's like, I don't know what they expected.
It's not Stone Cold anymore. He's too old.
Yeah, I don't know what they expected with some hot angle they wanted WWE to film.
So Seth Rollins somehow gets back at CM Punk, and they're at the Royal Rumble, and they have a match, or they're in the Royal Rumble, or something.
It's absurd. It's like, like they want attitude era style booking with.
Attitude Era, guys, is done. It's over with. Austin's too old. It can't be Austin versus McMahon anymore because McMahon's too old. Austin's too old.
Vince is gone. He was forced out of the company anyway.
And Vince is gone.
So he's not gonna be back.
He got out of jail free card because he's a rich fuck. Hello. I knew that wasn't gonna happen. I know he wasn't gonna go to. It's like Donald Trump. He's not gonna see jail time. Come on, guys.
Like I talked about yesterday, he just got an unconditional release from his sentence, so he's done. So.
Right. So, I mean, enough with the bullshit. Let's get back to reality, and this is modern wrestling. There's no more show. My only gripe is there is no more showmen. I know what they're going to do before they do it.
Yeah, usually you know what you're going to do.
And you know who's going to win and who's going to go over. Except for the Drew McIntyre. I'm like, oh, come on. Why can't Drew go over on this one? Just this one.
Yeah, I mean, it just didn't make much sense. And, I mean, yeah, I don't mind Jey Uso winning, but it kind of continues that feud. And
yeah, I mean, they want that feud to go on because, again, unless Drew McIntyre walks out on SmackDown and points right to Roman Reigns and says, I want you,
Yeah.
I could see it. It's probably coming.
Let's give our Royal Rumble is still 3 weeks away, but I'm thinking that John Cena.
Yeah,
I'm thinking John Cena's going to win this thing and do that Cody Rhodes match at WrestleMania.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
they want to bring back that WrestleMania.
Yeah, if the Rock can't do it, then it's going to be Cena and Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania for that title. The question is, who goes over? We don't know. I mean, I can't gander a guess.
I think Cena probably for about a month.
Could be.
And then either Roman Reigns gets it or Cody gets it back.
Because Cody would be champion now for a full year at WrestleMania because he won it at WrestleMania last year. So.
Right, he won it last year.
I'm fine with him dropping it after a year. He doesn't need a 3.5-year title run like Roman
but he has been, really good with. He's the face of the company, guys. Let's make it clear. If Dusty wasn't, Cody is. Dusty was he could have been, and he would have been bigger than Hogan could have ever imagined.
And Vince even said it in his documentary.
He would have been bigger than Hogan.
Vince said it in his documentary. He wanted to choose Dusty as his guy, not Hogan initially.
Not Hogan. So I think really what we're getting at here is that, Dusty, he could have had a chance, and I just think Cody's it. Cody is the son of Dusty. So, if Dusty wasn't the head of the company,
Which surprised me. I'm like, wait, he wanted Dusty? I know Vince is famous for loving the bodybuilder look, and Dusty definitely didn't have the bodybuilder look. So, It was
No, he
interesting
did
that Vince
not.
wanted Dusty.
But Dusty
Yeah.
had that charisma. He could talk you
Hmm.
into the building, whereas Hogan kind of had to
Yeah,
work at
Vince
it, you
liked the
know?
bodies, but he realized that Dusty was special with his charisma and with the talking you in the building, and being the baby face and selling like the baby face and
Let me
the,
tell you something,
it,
baby. I can't do the accent. It's Jim
tell you
Cornette that can
something,
do
baby.
it.
I can't do it either, but yeah.
No, that was good.
So
That was
real
good.
quick, I mean, there's an interesting scenario that was pitched on X about AEW, and it's like, it was by Alfred Konoa, who covers wrestling for Forbes, and he also has his own YouTube channel. He was like, "Hey, look, the UFC's contract with ESPN expires at some point this year in 2025, and Warner Brothers Discovery needs a new sport because they're losing the NBA after this season. So it's like if they go for the UFC,
So they chose
no, if
AEW?
they might go for the UFC. That's what he was speculating.
Oh,
And if they
okay.
go with the UFC, WWE TKO is going to fuck AEW because most likely they're going to cancel AEW. They're not going to keep a TKO company with the competition, So it's like AEW may be out of a
Damn.
television deal pretty soon if they get UFC. So
Just, give
mm,
up the ghost, Tony Khan. You cannot book. You are literally like Vince
mm.
Russo. It's just bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. And people see right through it. That's why they got what? I think the average was like 600,000 plus,
This week
and the ratings keep
this
going
week is
like this.
500,000. And yeah, they have
Average?
500,000 around there, and NXT is consistently beating them now. So NXT is around 800,000 or something. So and it's like it's dead. It's a matter. It's not if, but when AEW, it gets canceled.
Just folds it up. It's
It,
time to
as
go.
long
It's
as
time
Tony
to
wants to
leave.
do it, it won't fold because he has all the money in the world. His dad does at least. But
Hey, Cowboy Kitty.
yeah, hey,
I want to mention
yeah, we
SmackDown
only
real
got a couple
fast.
more minutes.
I did watch it. I'm kind of upset that Sokola didn't come on, but it was Jacob Fontu and the werewolf.
That's the same person.
That's probably the
Yeah,
same
Jacob
person. Sorry,
Fatu and
sorry. The werewolf
Tamatanga were
and
there.
the other
Tamatanga.
guy, Tamatanga. There
Solo's
you go.
gone now.
Came on and attacks Cody and Jimmy Uso comes out, saves him. So they had a tag match. Unfortunately, Jimmy lost because Kevin Owens
Yeah.
kept interfering. And of course, Cody and him go through the
Yeah.
table, and that's it's with Kevin Owens, I think he needs to get tougher. Because he keeps saying, it's all your
Yeah, he's
fault,
kind of
Cody. Well,
he's kind
fuck
of a
you,
whiny
dude.
heel
Fuck
now,
you.
so he can,
Yeah, you got to get tougher. If you're gonna go after Cody,
he's
you
like a
got to get
whiny
something
little
better.
heel, Even though he's like psychotic, but
Yeah,
he's still
it's on
whiny
your
about Cody,
fault.
working with Roman and shaking Paul Heyman's hand, earlier happened right before that. So
Right, and he's like, well, Paul Heyman just said after he
mm,
shook your hand that his tribal chief wants the belt back. Okay, so they're trying to set something up between Cody and
Cody
Roman.
and Roman 3. Look, I don't want that match to main
Yeah,
event WrestleMania again. That'd be the third year in a row, and it's like they have to
yeah,
do it
no, I
somewhere
think it's
else,
gonna be
either
John Cena.
SummerSlam or something. They have to
Yeah,
do it then, but
or King of the
in Saudi,
Ring,
yeah, I
or
mean it has to
Saudi.
be somewhere
Yeah,
else. But WrestleMania again, it's like
yeah,
no match main evented WrestleMania 3 years in a row, one match. Well, Hogan main evented
right.
WrestleMania like 4 or 5 years in a row, but it was different
Well,
opponents and stuff. So
WrestleMania 5, WrestleMania 6, WrestleMania 7.
he main evented.
Was it 4? I
Wait.
didn't
He main
watch
evented the
4.
first one, the second one, the third one.
Third
4
one?
was Macho Man and Ted DiBiase, if you remember, for that vacant title.
Right, and then Hogan helped the
Yeah.
Macho Man, and then they
Yeah,
became
and
the Mega
Hogan, of course,
Powers.
stole
So
Macho Man's thunder.
that's like the only WrestleMania
Yeah,
Hogan didn't even
yeah,
touch,
yeah. I think
right?
he and Andre had a match in the tournament, which ended in disqualification. So they both were eliminated from the tournament.
WrestleMania 8 was kind of like Flair and Savage, and then it was, Hogan
Sid,
and
no, it was
Undertaker or
Sid.
something. No,
Yeah,
Sid.
Sid couldn't even beat Hogan. I mean, it was supposed to be his retirement match, you remember, but Sid couldn't even beat Hogan in his retirement match. It was like you can't put over Sid in your retirement match, Hogan. I mean, come on, he would come back a year after that, so it wasn't really his retirement match.
and would lose he would get the belt at
WrestleMania 9.
WrestleMania
The way he
9,
screwed over Bret Hart.
and then yeah, and he screwed over Bret Hart, and then he would give it to Yoko Ono.
Yokozuna.
Sorry, Yokozuna.
Yeah,
every time.
is Alex here? Oh yeah,
But yeah, SmackDown was okay. I just think that, I mean, and then we talked about like it's Tiffany time, and then all these fucking girls came out. I'm like, oh my god, get over it. Tiffany Stratton fucking won.
Yeah, I don't
get
care.
over it.
I mean, it was like she finally cashed in. Great, but I'm moving on.
Well, I deserve a chance. But I deserve a chance first. Oh, Jesus
Christ.
Shut up.
I didn't care about that segment much. So, yeah, we do have to wrap up here on YouTube. So, it's past 9 o'clock, actually. So,
sorry, guys. But catch us on Rumble.
Migrate over to the Rumble channels or Twitch or wherever else we're on.
Rumble.
So, yeah, I'm going to start ending the streams on YouTube. So, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And we'll see you guys next week.
And if we don't see you on Rumble, we'll
see you next week if you don't want to watch wrestling clips, whatever. On Bro Wrestling Talk, 8 p.m. 5 Central Pacific, and
we know what you meant.
It's actually I was gonna say 8 p.m. Eastern,
Hi,
7
Alex,
Pacific,
little brother.
So yeah, we're gonna go to some wrestling clips here. I'm probably gonna go to around 10 o'clock, and then we'll wrap up because I have some things I gotta do, but because tomorrow I gotta go out early. But yeah, I mean we'll have some fun. Why am I not ending these streams? I'm just babbling on about other stuff I gotta do.
All good, all good.
Okay, no, where is it? Shoot. Go back, get out of there. No, I mean, it's not letting me, like, oh, here we go. Okay, I'm pressing the wrong place. Yeah, so have a nice weekend, everybody. We'll see you next week for Pro Wrestling Talk. But you want to keep watching, go over to the other streams. Bye-bye. All right, so we're off one.